Welcome to Doctrine and Devotion, a podcast exploring Christian faith and practice from a Reformed Baptist perspective. My name is Joe Thorne. I'm the lead pastor of Redeemer Fellowship in St. Charles, Illinois.
And I'm Jim Fowler, executive pastor at Redeemer Fellowship.
What is going on?
Nothing. What's up with you?
Man, did you stay up late last night?
Yes, I did.
The thing?
I did.
The thing?
The thing.
The thing that everybody was watching? Mm-hmm. Election results?
I told you it wouldn't be ready by, today.
Oh, really? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I believe you said landslide.
No, I said late night.
No,
because
we have people quoting you. We have people
late
quoting
night.
you. Nope.
They're all listening wrong. You know what? You guys can all go listen.
And then I had to show you what a landslide was in electoral politics.
Night in what?
What?
What'd you say?
I said I had to send you a text explaining to you what a landslide is.
I didn't get that text.
Yeah, I got it. Want me to bring it up?
You can bring it up whatever you want. All I said was late night.
Nope, you said landslide.
Yeah, and even if I did say landslides, there's landslides all the time. Like in California, it's a landslide.
Right, yeah.
The land shifted down the mountain.
No, I told you.
Down the hills,
I hear you. All right. So because you said it was a landslide, I sent you a text. This was on a Monday.
I don't remember
I said a landslide victory in U.S. Presidential elections occurs when a candidate has an overwhelming majority in the Electoral College.
Yeah.
So, for example...
pretty sure I said late night, though.
So basically, it's 75% or more. And you said 7%.
First of all, I'm not going to trust your math.
Yeah,
I'm not trusting your math.
I've got the documents. That's why I got.
When you say basically, that means you're just. You did some computing.
Nope,
and it makes
no computing.
sense.
Just reading the stats.
I don't know.
Yep. So 1972, when I was born, Richard Nixon received 96.7% of the electoral votes.
So are we ready to talk about the results, though?
Well, the concession speech was made, literally.
There was no concession.
Yes, there was. Kanye West conceded. Conceded the election.
He conceded
just a few hours ago. Yeah.
Oh, did he?
So there go our votes.
I didn't think that was a throwaway. I felt like that was a sure
we had a chance. The birthday party, baby.
I was excited for it.
Yeah,
I was excited.
Man, yeah, no, it's been good. But I like it. I have fun. I was watching a pretty mainstream liberal feed of news last night.
CNN?
Nope. And
MSNBC?
Something like that. And then I had another one. I had the Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro group on the other, and I would go back and forth between those two. It was pretty fun. But then, by 12, I was like, I'm going to bed. Nothing's happening now. We're all as far as it's going to get tonight.
Yeah, let's see where this goes.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, we're recording this Wednesday.
Yes, we are.
I'm anxious to see. The Trump campaign keeps trying to say tonight, wait till 10 p.m. Eastern. Wait for Arizona.
Yeah.
Or wait, maybe they're talking about Nevada at that point.
Yeah, no, he lost Arizona.
Well, allegedly.
Yeah, exactly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, there have been some mistakes along the way, but it's been interesting. I had a really good talk with a guy today who voted for Biden, knowing that, you and I voted for Trump. And it was just an awesome conversation between brothers who...
And he's leaving the church. Goodbye, brother.
No.
Goodbye.
It wasn't a member of our church. It wasn't a member of our church.
Okay.
It was an author. It was that guy out there. And I don't want to say...
la-di-da.
Yeah,
Joe Thorne hobnobbing with actual authors.
First of all, he was hobnobbing with me, fool. Okay, no, I'm the big deal.
No, you're the big cheese. You're the hobgoblin. He was not hobgoblin with you.
That
was pretty good.
You should have gone with Hobbit.
No.
Hobbit would have been better. Hobgoblin. You're right. Nope. I stand or sit.
You
can't tell the difference.
Yep.
Corrected. Yes.
I'm feeling pretty good about that one.
You should feel good.
I feel really good about that one. That is almost as good as my late night.
Yeah. What do you mean? What happened? No, you stayed up late.
Yeah. No, never mind. You forget it.
What?
No,
I want to know.
I was doing a callback and it didn't work. Don't worry.
Oh, no. Yeah, your late night?
Yeah. No, landslide, late night. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Right.
It didn't work.
No.
It didn't work.
So we got the election going on.
Yeah. Let's see how it goes in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
How is it? This is, okay. I actually, people are talking about Wisconsin.
Yeah, he lost Wisconsin.
He lost Wisconsin, but how is it that there's almost 100,000 votes more than were registered? I don't know. Maybe because they allow same-day voter registration.
Yeah.
Okay. Then Arizona, they're talking about the Sharpies, though they're talking about that's been known and it's been out there. So if it had been out there in years before, which that part I'm not quite sure, then why didn't anyone say anything before? And then if you knew that they're going to be using Sharpies and you've got your election officials, why didn't say things right at the beginning and stop it?
Yeah, I don't know.
So that doesn't make sense to me. But the one part that really doesn't make sense is the votes in Michigan, Detroit. How is it that this dump of votes, 100-something thousand, 100% of them go to Biden? 100%? Even when I was a kid, knowing I was going to cheat off another kid's math class,
You got to throw a few off.
you got to throw a few off.
Otherwise, it's obvious.
Even when I knew that, I'm like, okay, I got to get an 82%. I can't go for, 100.
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously.
you shoot for a 73, Jimmy. That's
So that one was a little bit like, that one gives me pause, but I'm not going full Alex Jones.
No, you never go full Alex Jones.
Never go full. You avoid the full AJ.
Yeah, because otherwise you get banned off of Twitter and all kinds of things. Yeah, I'm leery of any weird reports. I'm not jumping on any bandwagon. I'm just paying close attention, praying, and ultimately in the end, you and I, we ain't gonna worry about it. We're just gonna do our thing.
Yeah.
We're not gonna freak out.
Jesus is still on the throne. That has been. Thank you all for the reminders online.
I like that. Jesus still has the wheel. That's
Jesus still has the wheel.
He took the wheel. He's got the wheel.
And he still has the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We'll see. I think Trump prematurely went out there and called.
That's weird.
That was really weird.
Trump would speak out of turn.
I was like,
do that?
I stayed up to watch, and I'm like, oh, I know what he's gonna do. Don't do it. Oh, I might take a shot if he does it. And then he did it. I'm like, I'm too tired. I don't want a shot. I'm just going to
go to bed.
I'm just going to bed.
Hey, everybody, we're okay.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever gets in there, we're going to be all right. We got...
Jesus still has the wheel.
He does. He's got the wheel. He's got, seatbelts on.
Mm-hmm.
We're all safe.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I've been seeing this meme out there.
Yeah.
It's like the whole country is on Maurice. Was it the whole country's on the Maury Povich show waiting to find out who the father is?
Paternity test? Yeah.
All right, Joe.
Yes.
So...
Yeah, everybody knows we're waiting for us to get to it because it says it right there.
It says right there.
That we're,
I love. You know what?
Well, I don't know if we're going to use that. I'm going to use that.
I'm going to use it now.
Well, you can use it now, but I don't. We were playing
when we
with...
first talked about this.
Yes.
Because we've known, we've had feelings, we've been praying through it actually for a few years, and we'll get more of that. But we're like, the moment we talk about it, the episode has to be Acts 29.
AXE.
Yeah.
Acts 29.
I'm like, that's going to be a perfect name.
The problem is that a lot of the dude bros out there will think it's a new body spray that church planters would wear. And so we didn't want to go with Acts 29.
Can we sell that?
We also thought about Ain't 29.
Ain't 29?
But the problem with Acts 29 or Ain't 29 is it sounds aggressive or mean. And we're not mean. We're not mad. We're not in the midst of great drama or trauma with Acts 29. But as you can tell from...
Just disappointment, yeah.
As you can tell from the headline that, yes, we have decided...
What are you going to call it? You haven't decided yet, have you? You haven't decided. Okay, sorry to put you on the spot.
So we've decided to not renew our covenant with Acts 29.
Explain how the process goes.
So these days, if you are a member church of Acts 29, you have to read a covenant and sign off on it annually. So every year, you, as the elders of the church, agree, yes, we want to continue to partner with Acts 29, which is a good idea for a lot of these kinds of associations, even if it's annoying. And
what do you mean you didn't do anything for it? We did it.
No, well, first of all,
we would just tell you, no, yes, Joe, sign.
Okay, that's not exactly what happened. It comes to me and Deb. We talk about it. We print it out, and then
you got. What do you mean? Hold on, wait, you talk about it. You talk about it with her.
Yeah,
and then
I tell her print that.
That's a really great conversation.
I said, now print that.
And then
what? And then I said, now put it over here. Okay.
Yeah,
and then I lay down on the couch and I go, now read it out loud to me. It's very involved, Jimmy. I don't need to get into the details.
All right,
okay.
All right. I stand. I'm corrected.
So yeah, and like Jimmy said, for the past few years, we have been on the bubble about leaving the network.
Yeah.
In fact, I told our president, Matt Chandler, about a year ago that, hey, listen, just so you know, we are in the bubble about leaving, but we're going to stay in. We stayed in one more year. And at this point, we are going to take a step back and no longer partner with X29, which is weird for us because, goodness, I joined X29 back when it was the lead pastor only who essentially joined the network.
Yeah, I mean, not to be rude. Like, is it weird? I think it's more weird for you than it is for us.
Yeah, definitely. The church.
Like, I'm not trying to be. It just, nope. That's why, for me, one of the shortcomings and one of the issues and why it was easy for me was I don't think there was that same support that you had at the beginning, right?
Right. And so by the time you came on, because you were in school and working full time and all that, once you came on as an elder candidate, by that point, things were different in Acts 29. But back in 2008, I joined Acts 29, and
it was great.
It was really good. And let me just tell you, when we joined Acts 29, it was because first of all, it was in spite of Mark Driscoll. I was never a fan theologically of Mark Driscoll.
Are you sure?
100%.
Joey.
Yeah. Ask any of the guys. I was always taking
I'm pretty
issue
sure I
with
have a
his
photo
theology.
of you and Mark Driscoll at a convention together.
Not maybe eating chicken wings, yes, but that doesn't mean that I was down with his theology. At any rate, I joined Acts 29 because some of the best pastors that I knew were in Acts 29, and I wanted to be around them. I wanted to have their influence towards us, and knew that they could help us in ways where we might be weak. So, and we certainly experienced a lot of that good brotherhood here in the Chicagoland region. Actually, we were the first Acts 29 church in the region.
Really?
Yeah, we were first, and I think it was Ryan Hughley.
Now, weren't you also one of the first non-urban? Like, not, were you? What I mean that's like were you one of the first outside of the city center?
You mean in America?
I don't know about that. I remember.
No.
I thought I remember hearing a story from you or Steve McCoy that you guys used. What is that?
It's my speaker.
Okay. From either you or Steve McCoy that there was Acts 29 focused on like major cities, right?
Urban areas,
and so and suburbs was something that was new.
Didn't get much attention, yeah. So I don't know where I fall in that. But
and I thought that you had wrote a whole thing about it.
I probably did. I don't remember. I don't remember what I write.
Man, here I'm trying to prop you up. What's up?
Yeah, I don't know. I need a boost, not a prop.
Well, I'm trying to boost you by telling you wrote something called "Are the Suburbs Killing?"
No, that was a sermon series.
No, but you did something.
It doesn't matter.
You did something. I'm just calling Steve.
So I did. We joined. It was really good. Now, if you're new to the podcast or if you're new to Acts 29, we'll just give you the brief rundown here about Acts 29. That's ACTS 29. And the idea is
Joe. I mean, there's only 28 chapters.
That is correct. Yes, and so this obviously teaches, continued revelation today. The canon is
continuationism.
not
I mean, listen, the writing was on the wall about Driscoll right from the start when he called it Acts 29. He understood that he was going to be continuing the work of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, the revelation of truth.
Of truth.
No,
yes.
That's not what it was. The idea was, you know what? The work of the Spirit does continue in and through the church today. So Acts 29, the continuation of God's story, all very cool. I like that. Actually, Acts 29 was not started by Mark Driscoll. He pretended that he did when I was in the network early on, when Mark was the president. He talked.
Who started it?
It was started by a guy named David Nicholas, who was Mark's mentor back in 1998. Mark was a part of it early on, and he became the face of the network because he's Mark Driscoll. The personality, the dynamics, and all that. But yeah, all through my time with the network, while Mark was there, he essentially he presented it as if this was something that he started. But he actually took over as president not until 2005. But under Driscoll's leadership, the network focused on church planting and lead planters, and it continues to have a high percentage of success rate among church plants. So when you're looking at church plants, you say like, okay, well, like oftentimes in other church planting organizations, they'll say after 3 years, what's the survivability rate? And they'll say, well, after 3 years, 75% of our churches are still going. Number one, that 3 years is a terrible marker because pretty much everybody gets supported for 3 years.
Yeah.
So they should all last 3 years because you have money coming in from support. But Acts 29 was looking at 5 years out, and they had like a 98% success rate.
Oh, wow.
People are still going on. And the reason they were successful, I think, is in part because they did a better job of focusing on the lead pastors, the focus on the mission. They had, they were careful about doctrine and
from my understanding, they were very good at vetting pastors, right? Like training them and making sure that these were individuals that were qualified, not just someone that, was like,
it wasn't so much training as much as it was, like you said, vetting. They wanted to make sure that these lead guys could preach well, that they could handle the word of God well. I did a lot of the assessments back in the day. And so in these, 2008, 9, 10. And so we would evaluate them in their marriage and their finances. Like we would get into all that stuff. So it was a lot more intensive than some other church planting assessment processes. There were weaknesses, and they've even gotten better, I think, at assessments in these later years. But under Driscoll's leadership, it very quickly began to reproduce leaders that were like Mark Driscoll, right? Because you tends to be a replication of the figurehead, right?
No, and I mean that's unavoidable wherever you go. In any church, in any organization, when you have especially in a church, a charismatic personality, a person that draws people to. I mean, and that's what you're looking for to lead pastor. You are looking for someone that's able to call others, right? That people can that are able to bring a group around them. And put them on mission and go and lead them on that mission together.
Right. And so sometimes you wind up reproducing their shortcomings as well. Right. And so Mark definitely was a gifted communicator, a strong leader, and very rough around the edges, bombastic, confrontational, oftentimes domineering. And so that was replicated among many of the church planters. Now, the short story is, in 2012, Mark stepped down. There were a lot of controversy surrounding Mark increasingly. He was getting in trouble for things like plagiarism in his books. And
was that 2012 he stepped down?
Yeah.
Wow, that long ago.
Mark stepped down in 2012, and Chandler stepped in as president. And Chandler began to immediately focus on churches planting churches. Like, we should not just be a collection of church plants, which was largely what it was. We weren't planting churches, we were church plants. And it's supposed to be a network that plants churches. And so so Matt wanted to make sure that the network was really focusing on that. And he pushed for us having a reputation for holiness and humility. He pushed for ethnic diversity because it was very white. It was very American. And they pushed for bold evangelism. But in 2014, the controversies piled up. Mark Driscoll's character had been questioned and accusations were made. Again, we've already talked about this stuff. So the short story is these controversies led to the uncovering of some of Mark's sins as it related to leadership. It wasn't sexual immorality or like stealing money or stuff like that. But it was, so in other words, it wasn't Tullian or McDonald, but it was ungodly leadership, domineering, bullying, aggressive, that kind of stuff. And there were some other issues as well. And in general, the network leaders determined that Mark was not repentant about these things. And so that was when Mark and Mars Hill were removed from Acts 29. Now, since that time, and under Chandler's leadership as president, there's been a lot of growth. There's been maturing. There has also been constant changes, which when any network or any organism or organization is growing, there are going to be changes, complexities.
And new leadership, new blood, new just everything.
And so there were a lot of changes. Some of that's been good. It's been frustrating for a lot of us because you start when there's only like 200 people in the network, and now there's 800, and the dynamics are very different. Like some people when they're a part of a church and there's like 60, 100 people, they like that. And then all of a sudden you have 200.
All of a sudden you have a 110.
And it's like, that's not how it was.
No, I mean, Keller has a whole thing on it, you know?
It's not, it feels different, and a lot of people don't like it. And then you guys remember we talked about this, that recently Steve Timmis, who was like executive director or something of the network, he was let go. There was a lot of controversy around that.
What seemed like lack of transparency.
Around
even
abusive behavior.
Even the way Acts 29 handled it. Right? The communication itself was very...
It was weird.
It was weird.
Off.
Weird,
yeah. So,
but ultimately, we can forgive all that.
Yeah. So all that to say, at this point, Acts 29 is essentially they say it's a global family of church planting churches, right? And that's what it is. They strive for that. That's what they want to be. They're Calvinistic in their soteriology. They tend to be continuationist in their view of the spiritual gifts, and sometimes that leads into some more of the charismatic stuff than we're comfortable with personally. But we're cessationists, and there are cessationists that are a part of Acts 29, and that's fine too. So, Jimmy, the reason we got into Acts 29 on the front end was because we wanted brotherhood among pastors. We wanted to learn from like-minded leaders who could show us how to do what we need to do, as they are just ahead of us by like 100 people. If once they're like 3,000 people ahead of you, like that, they almost forget what it's like to have a few hundred people. So all that was great.
And it succeeded in that regard.
Oh, we were helped tremendously.
Yeah, there you go.
We were helped tremendously. So If we don't have a current big beef with X29, why have we felt a need? Why have we been wrestling with whether or not we should even stay in the network for the past few years?
There's a couple questions that we ask ourselves with any sort of affiliation or a partnership that we're involved with, right? And we ask the questions.
Where the money at? No.
We ask the questions. Is it a benefit to us, right? Like, is there some sort of benefit for us? And that is not necessarily only monetarily, but it's also like, are they feeding into us? Are they encouraging us? Are they guiding us?
Money doesn't have to be a part of it at all.
No, yeah, that's it.
Is there a benefit?
Is there a benefit to us? And then the second one is, are we a benefit to them?
Right.
Right. And
so and sometimes it's only one of those, and that's okay.
Only one. And we're okay with that. And so that was it, right? It felt like, at least I'm speaking for myself, not for the elder board or for anybody else. I was becoming more and more like, I don't see the benefit for us, and I don't see the benefit for them. They don't, they're not really utilizing us. They don't really seem to want us around. Like, it almost felt like, honestly, I felt like, that I don't want to use any analogies on this one. I felt like the outsider that wasn't really welcomed at family dinner.
Yeah, yeah, and
it was like I showed up for Thanksgiving dinner and they put me at the kid table.
Well, in fairness, Jimmy.
In fairness to you, the kid table in the garage.
Okay, first of all, I like being in the garage. That's a garage or bathroom. That's where I go at a party. Avoid everybody.
That's your jam right there.
It's not that we're like hurt about it or anything. But it honestly is. It did feel like, well, okay, as a church, and in our region, we were one of the few, and for a long time, we were the only church that was actually planting other churches. And yet, we didn't seem to be of value to the network in any conceivable, measurable way. In the past, I was useful, and that felt good to be useful.
Now when we're saying that, though, we're talking about regionally. Now, yes. We have that Acts 29 globally has made use of us, or made use of you, and it felt like we were able to encourage whether brothers in churches in other countries or churches across the United States, right? And it felt like, well, I think we could still do that.
Yes, and that's part of it, right? So to go back to your 2 points, are we deriving a help from being a part of the network? And our answer is at this point, no. For the last several years or last few years, it basically functions as a Willow Creek Association that somebody looks on your church website and they go, oh, they're part of the Willow Creek Association, or they're part of Acts 29. Yeah. So we occasionally will get a visitor because they found us on the Acts 29 website, which is cool, but
which is great, yeah.
We don't need that. And so if we aren't getting the benefit, that's okay, as long as we can at least be a benefit to you in some tangible way. And we have not felt that for years either. And
not only that, and I'm gonna let you finish. Can I
that was it. Yeah, okay, go jump in.
I'm gonna jump in.
The water's fine.
The water's fine. The part about it is, even we would, like, every year, Joe was talking about the covenant. We got to go through it, and you give suggestions, right? Like, we'd give them suggestions. We'd also give them, like, hey, we're concerned about this area, that area.
Feedback with the annual renewal of the covenant.
We get great feedback.
Because you and Brian would give it.
But here's the thing.
Detailed.
There was no issue if they came back and said, oh, you know what? Good thoughts. Appreciate it. We disagree. We're going to be doing it. This is why we're doing it this way. Great. Even if they just said, hey, thanks. Disagree a bit.
But dumb idea.
I would be fine with that. It was crickets. Nothing. And it's like, why am I wasting my time?
Let me say something.
And I'm not a guy that wastes his time. I hate wasted time.
Then why do you saunter? Okay, think about that.
No, because that's my time.
Oh, you're not using your time.
I'm using my time the way I want. I saunter where I want to go.
You are saunterific. Now, I'm just going to say, like, you and Brian are smart dudes. And so when you offer feedback on something, it is really helpful. At the very least, it's very thoughtful.
Yeah.
And so,
we could be wrong.
And it was like, no, feel like nothing. Okay.
Nothing.
It was a little weird.
And that's the thing. It's like, personally, it felt really disrespectful. It's like, don't actually ask for feedback and then not even acknowledge the feedback. That's just rude.
Maybe you're sensitive.
No, it's not being sensitive. It's rude. It's rude. And so it's like, fine, then don't waste my time, me sitting there thinking through these things. If you're not even going to acknowledge, and again, you don't even have to utilize it.
Just hey, thanks for that feedback.
Or you can just say, hey, bless your heart on that feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Perfect. I'm good with that.
So there was some, it just didn't feel, it hasn't felt like for a long time.
And regionally, I didn't really felt supported by Homeboy.
Okay.
I don't want to say his name.
Okay. All right. But you're not talking about Jeff.
No.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So Jeff, you're a good guy.
You know what I'm talking
about. They're all good guys.
Yeah.
So,
but some just didn't do anything. No, I'm being serious.
I'm not arguing with you.
So this is a lesson for the rest of you that are in associations and are running associations. It needs to be a benefit to those around you, or you need to be, creating opportunities for them to grow and benefit you as an organization. And that means then creating feedback and avenues to where there is a common, like there's mutual communication going back and forth and mutual support. And if that's not what it's meant for, then okay, then let's just figure something else out.
You know what happens? At least once a month, every month. You know what happens? I get a phone call. From an old pastor, retired pastor. Yeah. Now he works for the Southern Baptist Convention, specifically Illinois Baptist State Association.
Okay.
He calls simply to see, how are you doing? How can we be praying for you?
Boom.
And you know what? Sometimes I don't pick up because I'm busy. I'm like, I'm really busy. But it means a lot. His name is Joe Oliver, old seasoned pastor. Calls to check in. And when I can't pick up, I go, hey, man, what's going on? And he's every single month, at least once a month. Now, I'm not saying that that's exactly what every association
but if you're in
do.
leadership and you don't have the time because you're also pastoring your church, maybe then you shouldn't be in that leadership position. Or maybe I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt that organizationally, the executive level has not given you the guidelines and direction and the training to lay out the expectations of what it means to function in your role.
Right. You could even, again, like I'm not getting a call from like the president of the IBSA. It's a dude that works for, and yes, it's his job. Yes, it's his job. He gets paid to do this, I assume. And that's okay. It's great. And I believe he means it. He's really sincere. And so it's great when I get that call.
Side note, then we should bring that back down to the local church level as a pastor and as someone that's, you've got individuals that are ministering, people that are in volunteer positions, people that are shepherding others, whether they're helping out in ministry, in mercy ministries as deacons or Bible studies leaders. And small groups. How are you investing in them, and how are you reaching out to them as they're doing that? So this is not just, I'm not talking about something that's only relevant for a large organization, but even you at a local level should be mindful of how are you encouraging and supporting those that are helping to minister to the flock that God has given you.
100%. It is relevant to us as Redeemer Fellowship. We got to get better at this, right? Everybody's got to get better at this.
I'm on fire tonight. I'm on fire.
You're smoldering. No, you're smoldering.
I am on fire.
You're not on fire.
I started with the hobgoblin.
Okay.
And I'm doing really good.
I'm on. At best, you're simmering. You're
I'm
not.
On.
There's no fire.
I'm feeling so good. I'm thinking Trump might get Arizona tonight. Continue.
Can you make him go back and get Wisconsin?
Well, no, he'll do that in the Supreme Court himself.
Okay, he'll steal it.
Whoa. No. You can't, You're not stealing that which was yours to begin with, Joey.
Because he has it by birthright? By the way,
the people have spoken. The people have spoken.
See, we make fun of even the people we vote for, everybody. So everybody chill. Hey, by the way, can we just take an aside to say, we said who we voted for?
Yeah.
And the listeners of Doctrine and Devotion, even when they vehemently disagreed with us, nothing but respect and love.
No, and you know what? I am very, very encouraged because oftentimes I look online and it is really like
just glance online.
Just glance online, and to see like our listeners be able to have conversations, be able to share their opinions in such a respectful and God honoring way.
Yep.
In a way that loves neighbor and honors God, and I'm encouraged.
We got the best listeners. You guys are awesome. Part of Doctrine and Devotion. That's so anyway. Yeah, a lot of people would flip out over somebody saying that it doesn't really matter. Like you could choose either candidate. And a bunch of people
like 51% of people would. Well, how much? 50? Yeah, I'm trying to think.
51 is more than half.
No. I'm trying to think of. That's the okay. Now I'm gonna never mind.
Okay, listen.
No, I was talking about.
You're amped up.
Whatever. So remember how they told us that everyone hates Trump. Everyone hates
especially
Trump,
minorities,
especially minorities and women. And all of a sudden, what's up? 49%? 49%?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Trump's only growing in the exit polls of the support for minorities. He's actually only down among white men this year. From 2016, he's up among Black and Latino. So and other.
I
don't know what other is. I don't know where that country is. I've never heard of.
We don't
understand. I don't know what it is.
We don't acknowledge the other. Anyways, continue.
All right. So here. Okay. So bottom line, we decided to leave Acts 29. This is a decision that we make as elders because it's the elders that are required to essentially sign the document. And so we let our church know at a members meeting this year that we were going to step away from Acts 29. And I called our regional guy, Pastor Jeff, who's an awesome brother, a great pastor, and a good friend. I respect him, love him, value him.
To his face, yeah.
To his face, behind his back. Then I make fun of his... He wears a lot of button-ups.
Does he?
Too many button-ups.
Too many? How many is too many?
One. If you're not marrying or burying, you don't need a button-up, Jimmy.
All right.
No, we've decided to not do that. Now here's the thing. We're Baptists, and if you're an actual real Baptist, you believe in association. That is, working with other local churches. In fact, increasingly, what I'm finding among Reformed Baptists is that, you know what? They don't really feel comfortable with maybe a particular organization. Oh, I don't know, like ARBCA, because it's a mess. And so they're like, we're getting out of ARBCA. That thing is a mess.
Yeah.
So what are they doing? They just find other like-minded churches and they begin to work together. But so whether you're a part, like we're still in the SBC.
Yeah.
And the reason we're still in the SBC is because they actually help us and support us.
Yeah, and our church planters.
They're
a huge, huge help to our
and they know
churches.
exactly who we are.
Yeah.
They know all about us.
Yeah.
And they're nothing but supportive and enthusiastic about it. And we feel like we actually have a voice and they're willing to utilize us. So it's all good. So we're staying in the SBC for now. Of course, that could change in 2 years.
Yeah,
we could
you
get
never
out.
know.
If you get in the way of the mission of what we're doing, if it's not a partnership at all, then we're going to get out. But we do believe in partnership. We do believe in associating with other brothers and sisters and churches connecting to other churches. So what we would say is whether you're a part of a denomination or a convention or an association or a network or not, it's important that you make real connections and relationships with other churches and other pastors and other leaders because you need the help and they need the help.
Yeah.
Like I look at our elder team. Okay, so leave me in off of it and Pat. Obviously. And no kidding. So leave me off of it. And I look at what you and Pat and Jeff and Brian and Kevin and Rob, I look at what you guys have to offer. There's a lot of help that you guys could offer to other churches in very specific ways. And we need help from other churches as we're entering into new stages and phases of church life. If you don't have that, you're on your own. And you know what happens when you're on your own? You get into trouble. Jimmy, remember growing up?
Yeah.
You get left by yourself, what happens? You get sent to Marmion. That's what happens. You get sent to military school because you screwed up so bad.
No, I was a good kid.
Yeah, they send all the great kids to Marmion. They send the best kids and the worst kids to military school. That's what it is.
No, that's exactly what it is.
I know. And which one were you, Jimmy?
Well, we'd love to hear your thoughts. You can follow us online on Instagram and Twitter at Doc and Devo or on Facebook / Doctrine and Devotion.
You can head to our
website, DocDevotion.com. There you can contact us. You can sign up for the email blast or hit up the store, jofostore.com, and grab some gear. Joe, is that new gear going to be ready yet?
The gear?
The gear.
Well, we got some new T-shirts coming on, yes.
And a hoodie.
Yes.
When are we going to release that? We
soon.
got pre-order?
Soon.
It needs to be done.
November.
We're in November.
I know, but I've got till the end.
No, you don't, because it's for Christmas.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Christmas at the end of December.
No, it's not. It needs to go now.
Yeah.
It really does.
It can't go now.
Okay.
Hey, we need a designer to give us the photos.
Okay.
I don't want to call them out. I don't want to throw them under the bus.
Next week.
If you back up a little bit, you can see Pastor Brian under the bus.
Monday's episode will be releasing. Monday's
T-shirts.
episode is when the T-shirts are going up.
Okay.
It has to go up.
All right. There you go.
Later.